The Sharma family had always dreamed of moving into their ancestral home, a sprawling abandoned mansion on the outskirts of the city. After decades of neglect, the house stood tall but eerie, its walls whispering forgotten stories. As they cleaned the dust-laden rooms, they discovered an old wooden almirah in the corner of the master bedroom. It was unlike any other furniture in the house, carved with intricate designs that seemed to shift under the dim light. The wood was ancient, its deep brown surface cold to the touch. Strangely, it was locked, with no key in sight. From that night onwards, the house no longer felt like their own. At midnight, the air turned unnaturally cold, and faint whispers echoed through the halls. Mira, the youngest daughter, swore she saw the almirah slightly open on its own, though no one believed her. Objects started disappearing, only to be found inside the almirah the next morning, despite it being locked. One evening, curiosity got the best of Mira. She pressed her hand against the almirah's door, and to her horror, it creaked open with a loud groan. Inside, among cobwebs and dust, lay an old, tattered diary. The second she touched it, the room's temperature plunged, and the windows slammed shut. The lights flickered violently, and in the dim glow, she saw a shadow move inside the almirah. Terrified, she dropped the diary and ran out screaming. As days passed, things escalated. The house groaned at night, doors locked on their own, and the mirrors reflected something else, something watching them. The almirah seemed to breathe, a faint wheezing sound escaping from within. Then, one night, Mr. Sharma, determined to solve the mystery, examined the almirah closely. At the back of it, hidden beneath layers of dust, he found an inscription carved into the wood. "Bound by rage, sealed by sorrow. Break the curse, and I shall follow." Who was I? What curse? Desperate for answers, the family read the diary. It belonged to a woman named Vaidehi, a servant falsely accused of witchcraft centuries ago. Trapped inside the almirah as punishment, she cursed it with her dying breath, vowing revenge on anyone who disturbed her eternal prison. And now it was too late. They had opened the almirah. They had set her free. That night, the house turned into a nightmare. The floorboards creaked as if unseen feet were pacing. Chilling whispers slithered through the walls, calling each family member by name. The air reeked of something rotten, something long buried. At 3 a.m., Mira woke up with a jolt. Her body was frozen in place, and in the dim glow of the night lamp, she saw a figure standing at the foot of her bed. A woman, draped in tattered clothing, her face hollow and sunken, her lips twisted into a grin. Mira wanted to scream, but no sound left her throat. The woman raised her hand and pointed toward the almirah. A voice, hollow and rasping, whispered, "You broke the seal. Now suffer." The next morning, the family knew they had to get rid of the almirah, but the moment they tried to move it, an unseen force pushed it back, its heavy frame refusing to budge. The more they tried, the louder the whispers grew, turning into agonized screams that shook the walls. Desperate, Mr. Sharma reached out to a paranormal expert, a man who had studied haunted relics. When he arrived, his face paled at the sight of the almirah. "This isn't just cursed, it's a prison," he muttered. He explained that objects with such dark histories couldn't be thrown away or destroyed. They had to be preserved in a controlled space, sealed away so the entity inside couldn't escape. The only place fit for it was the Museum of Haunted Relics, where cursed objects were kept under strict protection. But Vaidehi wasn't going to leave without a fight. That night, the house came alive. The walls shook, chandeliers crashed to the floor, and an ear-piercing scream echoed from the almirah. Its doors burst open, and a shadowy form lunged at them. The family clung to each other, paralyzed in fear, as the entity crawled toward them, whispering ancient curses. Just when it seemed all was lost, the museum truck arrived. The moment the almirah was lifted out of the house, the screams stopped. The air cleared, and for the first time in weeks, the house fell silent. Now the cursed almirah sits in a sealed glass case at the Museum of Haunted Relics. Some visitors swear they hear whispers coming from within. Others claim that if you stare into its glass reflection long enough, you might just see Vaidehi watching you from the other side. But beware, once she sees you, she might not forget you. Like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying stories.